Good morning. Good morning, Pamela. Good morning, Miss Anne. The snow is very fluffy. Amy says hello, Laura and Pamela and Miss M and anyone else. There is the snow. Maybe. The snow is coming down. Big fluffy snow. Big flakes. Turn it around. We are back home. Back in my studio. This is Steve. Sam says, ooh, snowy, big flakes are so comforting. Makes for quiet mornings. Yes. Oh. My phone is plugged in, so it doesn't really stay up. Let's see. Za is here. Good morning, Za. Good afternoon, Meta. Lovely snow. Yeah. The phone cord doesn't want to stay. Welcome for anyone watching later and is wondering. You've reached our Mandala universes, where we gather every day at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Central Time in the US, and we gather to ground, to breathe, to hold space for each other and ourselves, and we draw mandalas. And mandala is the Sanskrit term for circle, and within those circles are our internal weather. Sometimes they are abstract, colorful, sometimes there's words, sometimes just images, and they're just an expression of ourself during this moment. We've been doing this practice for over 5 years, almost 6. It will be 6 years in March. And we're glad you're here. And Meta is asking where Ash is. Sweet Ash. Always love to see him. Yeah, he is still in bed with my husband since we got home last night. He's been attached to our side. Amy says, feeling unsettled and yet calm. Nature helps. I'm outside in the sun with the birds and beautiful oak trees. That sounds lovely. And Miss M says, love seeing your mandalas. Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy how many a lot of us have. 365 days a year times 6. Yeah. Matt is asking where we have been. We went up Thursday night. We went up to Duluth, or over to Duluth, Minnesota. It's like a 4.5-hour drive to see my sister. And my husband surprised us with a cabin getaway north of Duluth in the woods. And we stayed there for a couple nights and took sauna. And it was lovely. It was snowy. We didn't see much wildlife, which we were bummed about, but we saw some chickadees feasting, an eagle, ravens, lots of birds, but not many mammals. And we had a lovely time. But we're glad to be home in our own space with our kitty. Amy says that's like 2,100 mandalas. Yeah, I don't have that many because I haven't done it every day since then, but definitely maybe over 1,000 at least, I think. I know Michelina gave a number of hers. It's crazy. And Elaine is here. Howdy ho. Glad you're doing well. Glad you're here. If you have any other check-ins, you're welcome to share them. And Miss M says, many good moments in this circle. Yes. Susanna is here. Good afternoon, Susanna. Says hello. Happy to join. I'm happy our project is going steady and you are the sisters who hold me up. I'm glad. Meta says, checking in joyful after week in Finland on holidays in the snow. Yeah. You were on a holiday too. Yeah, we went northern Minnesota, which is a lot like Finland as well. I would say from the pictures. And today is in bulk. Today marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. It is a Celtic holiday, I believe, mostly. Druids and Ireland. Elaine says, checking in, productive and excited for respite care this afternoon. Sounds wonderful. Well, it is 10 after. If you'd like to start settling into your body, you're welcome to close your eyes or just a soft gaze. We'll do some grounding. Start noticing your breath. Mine's a little stuffy. Just can't shake the stuffiness from the winter air. And maybe start lengthening those breaths as you notice them. As you inhale deeply through the nose, maybe let out a sigh if you need, if that feels comfortable or just needed. And maybe you'd like to draw your shoulders up as you inhale and drop them. Maybe there's tension in your neck and back. I know for many of us it is morning. For me, I am just waking up. You're the first people of interaction. My alarm went off at 9:45. And as you continue breathing, I'm going to read something from this book called Zen and the Art of Making a Living, a practical guide to creative career design. My sister lent it to me, and she got it from a friend. I'm gonna see if I can find something. Here's part. This section is titled, let's see, lots of quotes and stuff in this book. Scene 3, Pointing to Purpose. This is to find your part, don't exaggerate, deny, or minimize your importance. Many people fall into patterns that limit their capacity to recognize their part in the play of life. There are those who exaggerate their importance in the overall scheme of things. There are those who deny that they have an effect on the world. Still others admit their effect, but minimize their abilities. Any of these extremes impedes the process of discovering your purpose or part in the play of life. From here on, we will use the terms purpose and part interchangeably. It's easy to exaggerate our importance in the overall scheme of things. Many are blocked from tapping into their purpose in life by their insistence that it come with a personalized name tag. They expect the sky to open and a deep bass voice from on high to say, well, my son or daughter, this is your purpose. Choirs of angels, lightning, and thunder are optional, but the bass voice is must. Don't over-personalize. Great purposes are not individual. They have a historical continuity. They were begun before you and will continue after you. Rome was not built in a day, neither was science, art, or culture. We stand on the shoulders of those who have come before and owe our best to those who will follow. No great purpose relies upon any single individual. It is always a group effort. This may be a little difficult for our egos to accept, but it will make finding our purpose less difficult. And the quote here is, the importance and unimportance of the self cannot be exaggerated. Reginald Blythe. And there's a little sketch. And if you'd like to open your eyes, you're welcome if you haven't already. I think this circle is a great example of that. I hope that we have started something, we've participated in something, and that we will continue on after us. I know it has touched many lives, and many lives that we have not even known. And if you'd like to come to the page now, if you haven't already, for those watching that are new, I like to date my page, and today is Monday, February 2nd already. Second, 2026, and it is in bulk. And I like to draw my circle with in breath and out breath. And then I like to use paint for my mandalas mainly, but you can use, I am completely out of water. But you can use pens, pencils, crayons, markers. Maybe just pen and ink. And then I like to fill it with lots of color, generally. I will catch up on some comments. We have about 12 minutes to draw. And Pamela is checking in a little unsettled, feels like change is in the air, and is asking, is our purpose a single thing in life, or does it change in different seasons? I believe it changes in different seasons. I don't think we're confined to one thing. I think it carries through. After all, change is the only constant in this lifetime that we know. Amy says, great pondering, Pamela. I think we are always changing, so I think our purpose should too. Would, not should. So I think our purpose would too. Yes. And Miss M says, agreed. Change is the only constant. I don't think our purpose is one thing either. Multitudes of things depending. I was given a gift of creativity, and I practiced and honed that skill, but I don't feel like, sometimes I don't feel like that is my purpose necessarily. I think it's just something that a form of which it takes, maybe. But my purpose could take other forms. Yeah. Miss M says, heaven is a place where nothing ever happens. David Byrne. And Amy says, just being here is purpose enough. Yes. Right? Just to be interacting with others. And Pamela says, love that, Amy. Just being here is our purpose. And Miss M says, but I wouldn't mind some breathing room every once in a while. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, that's why we get glimpses of it. If only for a moment. Meta says, yes, so true, Amy. And Miss M. Yeah. I was cleaning out my travel pack of art supplies, and I forgot about my jelly gouache colors. And so I am using those today. It feels good to use a different palette. I feel like my watercolor palette is kind of more muted tones. So it's nice to use some bright colors. Like this bright chartreuse. While I was in Duluth, I was able to meet a lovely artist who I've admired for many years. I had seen a painting of their work in a gallery there, and I wanted to buy it, and then they removed it from that gallery and put it in a different spot. I don't have the money to buy the original, but I was able to get a print from them, and it's now hanging in my studio. It's of some fairies under pink lady slippers, and they're like marching. For some reason, the piece just spoke to me, and it was so lovely to meet them in person, just share a little bit of hope. They are struggling single mother. Their vehicle broke down, so they've been trying to get the funds to get a new one. You're a very deep feeling person, as I could sense. And just making those. They offered me a job if I'm ever in Duluth to teach at the Art Institute there, which was fun. Something to consider, I suppose. If we are led there, if we're led to move to Duluth, I don't know yet. Well, there's a few minutes left. If you have anything that is coming up, you're welcome to share it in the chat if you like. Amy says, Miss M, go hug that beautiful tree of yours. And Amy says, yes. Miss M says, yes, Amy, thank you, ash tree. Amy says, painting sounds like a magical pairing for your studio. I will grab it. Print. And this is done in the original is a huge, big watercolor piece, framed, obviously the original, but they're so cute. It's kind of dark, but there's also, they used Payne's gray for a lot of it, which, as many of you know, if you've been watching, is one of my absolute favorite colors. And it's just so quaint. The moon, the big moon. It is a beautiful piece. And I'm grateful to have it now in my studio. Some inspiration. We talked lots of art and how we find meaning and how we share why we do art and why we share it, and how it can be a form of resistance and a form of protest. Because this person knew the lady who was shot in Minneapolis. So that brought it even closer, I guess. So it's a small world, really, when you start opening it up. Let's see. Yeah, Amanda says, would love to see it. Sounds enchanting. Fairy tale vibes, yes. And how cool they offered you a job at the Art Institute. Yeah, yeah. Miss M says, Zowie, that's awesome. And Pamela says, to be honored with a job offered. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have the schooling, so I don't know if that's really. They're always looking for instructors. And why do I need schooling to instruct art? I never understood. Anyway, Amy says beautiful, and Meta says, wow, stunning. Pamela says, beautiful. We are all connected, aren't we? Yes. And sending hearts. It is 10:31, friends. Here's my mandala so far. I think I might continue working on it, get some coffee. I wish we had more time with each other, but I'm glad we could all be here. Thank you for joining, taking some time out of our busy lives to sit and be, and to draw, to be creative for just a minute. And Meta says, no words today, just great gratitude to all of you. Thank you, Laura. You're welcome. And Miss M says thanks. Big hugs. It's good to be home. And I will see you in the ethers. Take care. Have a lovely Monday. Enjoy in bulk. The sun is returning.